Let me see your identification.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
You must be Igor.
You've got a real attitude problem.
Danger's my middle name.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
I am an FBI agent!
I know, man, isn't it wild?
Well, my mistake.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid? Why?
Are you shook up? Are you nervous?
Supernatural, perhaps.
Bryan, look at that. God help us.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
We'd like to get a sample of your brain tissue.
Okay.
Should I give him some medicine?
It's alive!
You know what's going on? Maybe it's another drill.
Welcome to Face the Real podcast that inspires and changes lives. Working as a stuntman and stunt coordinator in the motion picture and television world for over 27 years, I had the pleasure to meet and work with some amazing people. Actors, producers, directors, wardrobe, hair and makeup, fellow stunt performers, you name it. Here you get to hear some unbelievable stories from awesome people and their journeys through their lives, their struggles, and how they got to where they are today. Some of them funny, some of them sad, but never boring, and hopefully will help you to reach your goals, whatever they might be. I am Oliver Keller, and I'm excited to have you with me to face the real Bryan Spanky Spangler Jr.
Dude, it's so cool that we connected. I really appreciate you reaching out on Instagram, and it's just so fun to connect with people that you don't even know, you know? And
yeah, definitely. No, I've been watching you ever since I picked up on your bandit jump. You know, I thought that was pretty cool that you reenacted that, and you know, we all love Burt Reynolds, so it was a great tribute, and that was awesome, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. So I just want to introduce you real quick. We have Bryan Spanky Spangler Jr. here with us on Face the Real, so we're thrilled to have you. Really appreciate you taking time. And I want to say thank you to all the viewers with all your great comments and following us on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, and on facethereal.com. So if you have anybody else you would like us to interview, then shoot me an email. I appreciate it. So, Bryan, I'm stoked. Finally, it worked out. We've been trying to get this done here for a few weeks, and it's just fun because I remember being a kid, you know, and growing up in Switzerland, reading books and so on, and of course watching TV shows and watching your dad, as one of the guys I followed, do crazy stunts. I remember there's one specific gag he did, falling out of a helicopter into a moving semi-truck filled with cardboard boxes.
Yeah, that was actually, I believe that was for That's Incredible. He did a lot of work on that show in the 80s, and you know what's interesting about that stunt is he went up, and it was like an 80-foot high fall. It was about 55 miles an hour, you know, semi was moving. Yeah. And it was actually a practice fall for a little bit higher, and then they said, no, we're good. Like, let's just stop it there. So, you know, that was, in his prime, my dad with this high fall was right on, man. Like, we really look up to that, and I try to, you know, reenact that and carry that on, the high fall, you know. But yeah, the moving truck semi jump, you know, that's one I'm going to stay away from.
Dude, I think that's a smart move because, I mean, you said 50 miles an hour the semi truck.
It was 55 miles an hour. The semi truck was moving, and the helicopter as well. And the helicopter had to pitch sideways, you know, so he can fall out the door. But yeah, the truck was 8 feet wide, you know, standard semi truck, you know, so it wasn't extra wide. So,
dude, it
was pretty nuts, right in the cardboard boxes.
He definitely had the guardian angels working overtime on that one because that was, I mean, so precise, like you say. I mean, I've done 94 feet out of a gondola and nothing was moving, right? And when you have a moving target that's only 8 feet wide from, you know, 60, 80 feet, whatever it was, that is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty gnarly. You know, right now we have 2 bags that we work with, you know, different size airbags. But I got a picture I'll send you and stuff. I'll send you a bunch of pictures. But there's one picture I seen my dad doing it was probably around 90 to 100 feet. I'll probably get the exact height, into a foam pad. And the foam pad, there was a guy standing next to it, and the guy was taller than the pad.
No way.
I'm not kidding. It was insane. I was like, what? He had a foam pad he used to do like 60, 70 footers into, but this was like a 90 footer. And this pad had been like 10 wide by 12 long and like 6.5, 6 tall, man. I couldn't believe it. It was pretty solid. He was really good with that high fall in his time. So I'm glad I was able to do it a few times, and we love doing it.
Yeah.
Let's get together and do it, Oliver. Let's do this.
Hey, why not? Let's do it.
I know, have some fun.
How big are your airbags?
We have one that's rated for 200 feet. So it blows up. It's like 12 feet tall, 25 by like 15. Maybe a little bit wider.
Got to be wider.
Maybe it's 20 by 30. Yeah, I don't know the exact one on that one. We've had it forever. I should know. And the other one's that yellow and white one a lot of people have. It's only like 8 feet tall, maybe 12 by 8, but it's rated for 70 feet.
Okay, yeah, the air packs they're called.
Yeah, that was the airbag. The one, yeah, it's definitely bigger than that. But my dad's went 275 into that bag. Pretty gnarly, out of a helicopter.
Crazy.
Yeah. See, I always like buildings and cranes. You can line them up. When you're coming out of that helicopter, you know, it's a little different lining it up.
Dude, it was, yeah, you're absolutely right. I never jumped out of a helicopter, but like I said, we had this gondola that we pulled up with a crane, and we tied it off, you know, to make sure it's not moving too much. And my 100-foot rated airbag is 9 feet tall, 22 by 25. And of course, from up there, it looks like a postage stamp, right? It's tiny. And,
oh, yeah.
And next to me was my good friend, Timmy Gilbert, that's been around forever. And we, you know, we had a rope with a weight on it. So we plumbed it. We made sure it's right. And we saw it's right, but it looked completely wrong. And then it's just doing a face-off fall, you know, fall straight down and then flip to my back sideways. But it was really, really weird. It was such a mind screw, you know, because like you said, you always are used to have a building to look down upon, or a ladder, and you have a certain kind of reference with distance travel that a free fall like out of a helicopter or gondola in that case just doesn't support at all. And it's a strange feeling, and you just have to keep your eyes on your landing spot and know it's right.
Yep, no, exactly. My dad always says right before I jump, the last thing he says is keep your eye on your target. Last thing I'd ever hear my dad say when I did high fall, just keep your eye on your target. So we have two targets. One, kind of the big target that they put on their stock on the bag in the center. But we have one we put a little bit above it, kind of where our head's supposed to go, and we have our own little target. But yeah, I definitely love the high fall, and you're giving me the itch. We need to get it out. But, you know, I can go on days with stories about my dad doing high falls. My dad at 64 years old climbed up like a 100-foot stair rail up in Butte, Montana on top of one of them, what's it called? The big old, like, they're like oil-looking rigs, but they're old mining things, and jumped off one of those for the 4th of July. So got a beautiful picture of him jumping off, American flag just ripping in the wind with just bunch of fires. Just beautiful. At 64 years old, he finally wrapped it up. That was like his last one. But
how old is he now?
He's 74.
74. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I got 2 sisters.
Okay.
But they never really got into it. My sister tried to mess around with it a little bit, but they're kind of scared of roller coasters, to be honest with you. So they couldn't really mess with the high fall. I remember, you know, when I was like 12 years old, going up with my dad to do a high fall. My dad was doing a high fall, and I was like, it was like a 140 footer, and I sat down in the bucket. I was like, man, it was starting to sway, and at that age, I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this, you know. But then I hit 18, and it started clicking, and I've got up to like 120. I did it for that to Tell the Truth. I did it for that TV show. It's pretty cool, on fire. So that was pretty interesting. That was fun.
Now, okay, let's start from the beginning. What was it like to grow up with a dad like that? That was, you know, doing those kind of crazy stunts. What was it like to grow up? And I mean, did you admire him, like, in one?
Oh yeah, it was cool. Like, oh, definitely, yeah. Like I think it was our 4th grade field trip was right on the corner from our house. The whole class walked to our house, and they had punch machines at our house. And my dad, we watched Spanky videos, and you know, in the 80s and 90s, there wasn't YouTube. You know, there wasn't all the stunt guys. There wasn't Travis Pastrana's. There wasn't you guys out. So there's only a handful of guys out there doing it. So yeah, he rocked it, man. He did really good. And so yeah, I admired him. I really looked up to him, and you know, he's a really good guy too, my dad. You know, he's always on the outside of the Hollywood thing, but he did do some of the Hollywood gigs. But yeah, you know, totally admired the guy, looked up to him, and awesome guy.
Yeah, I would love to talk to him here. That would be great.
Oh, definitely. Let's do that. Let's get that lined up. And he's got some stories, boy. You better block out an hour or two. So.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
I mean, like, yeah, exactly. We're trying to do a little story about him, you know, a little life story thing. And he's got a really good story from when he was a kid to he was Golden Glove fighter, went to Vietnam, was, you know, Green Beret, came out and did the stunt thing. So.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So then how did you get started?
You know, pretty much at 18, we did a show at Manzanita. It was my very first stunt I did. It was crazy, you know. My dad, we did practice. My dad, and I was like, oh, you know, my very first one, I got excited, you know. So I was like, oh, showtime. You know, I didn't do exactly what I should have did in practice. So very much, very soon I did, I actually ripped my kneecap right open. And the only time I ever got hurt doing a stunt was the first time I ever did a stunt. So, but yeah, at 18 years old, I jumped a Honda Odyssey about 99 feet and kind of just nosed it in and kind of tore my knee up a little bit. But that was the first time I got into stunts. And then I loved it, man. I started eating it up, and it really is my passion. You know, I got a really good business going, trucking, but I just can't get away from the stunt thing. You know, it's just something about it.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it.
What
just even the road trip, the going from here across the country and hanging out with the guys in the middle of the night. You know, now that you're away from it, you're like, man, I really miss that stuff. And we take the family with us too. They'd come in. A lot of our good memories. My daughters are growing up now, and they're like, I want to go back to Feud. I want to go back to Jackson Hole, and it was all around stunts, you know. So if it wasn't for the stunt thing, half of our vacations wouldn't even been happening, you know. So
isn't that amazing? That gives
is.
Like a bonding feeling too with your buddies and with your family, like you say. How old are your daughters now?
What's that?
How old are your daughters now?
I have a 21-year-old daughter. I have a 18-year-old daughter. I have a 17-year-old son, and I got an 11-year-old son.
Holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're all good kids. They really are.
Any interest for them to follow your footsteps?
My 17-year-old son, man, he's crazy. Like, he really is, and he's a natural though. He'll go over to like West Woodward, you know, in California, and do the scooter thing, do front flips, and he's, you know, at 8 years old, dropping in on huge half pipes. Like, he's always on different things. Right now, he's on the dirt bike kick, but everything he does, he's just really good at it. So yeah, I could see him taking off and wanting to do it. Like, him and his buddy go up to like Beaver Creek, and they're doing like double gainers, and so I mean, it's coming. It's definitely coming. So
okay, that's incredible. Did you travel a lot with your dad during all the shows?
Yeah, you know what? Not as much as I would like to have, obviously, but the traveling came a little bit later. You know, when there are some trips along the way. I remember like a lot of like 13, 14, me and my dad would take off to Buffalo, New York, him and his buddy in a van with just a bed in the back. He did a high fall there. I remember I was inside the airbag climbing around while it was blowing up and kids weren't supposed to be on the field. But went to Buffalo with Toronto quite a bit. I turned 13 in Toronto. He's working on the Super Dave Osborne show. So we're there all summer, and that was awesome, you know. But yeah, man, we went to Butte, Montana, Jackson Hole, Charlotte Motor Speedway. You know, but that came a little bit, like I said, when we were a little bit older, and I brought my kids along too. So but yeah, I never made it to like Japan and China, none of the big shows. You know, I kind of stayed home for that. And you know, he always didn't want us to see nothing if it went real bad, you know, because sometimes,
right, you
know, you never know what could happen, and you want your kids to witness nothing real horrible. So he kept us away from that. So.
Yeah, right. Well, because it is, you know, like there's a fine line between stuntmen and daredevil stunt.
Yeah.
It seems like, because you guys are pushing the envelope in front of a live audience pretty big sometimes, you know, where you may not walk away from that one, which is crazy, because really, if you want to think about it, like, you should be able to do every stunt again, the second time, the third time, right? But
yeah, definitely.
But especially back then, you know, I hear from a lot of my mentors that are 70s and 80s now, they had to try something for the first time, you know, a pipe ramp as an example, or whatever, you know, that hasn't been done yet. You don't really know how that vehicle is going to react. You're not going to know what that feels like. And they didn't have all the Hans devices that we have nowadays, and halo seats, and, you know, 6, 7-point harnesses and so on. It was a different time for sure, different world.
No, it was rough and it was real, you know, but You know, it's one thing about my dad is I got a book actually in my backpack. It's like a book of numbers. My dad said, don't ever see this, but it has miles per hour from 5 to 120 degrees, hoi voi, everything, breaks it down. And my dad's good with numbers. Like he even helped Robbie Knievel one time shooting radar. And he came running back. And we're like, is he going to make it? He's like, he's going to make it, but he's barely going to make it. And I'm like, oh, great. What does this mean? And here it comes. Robbie Knievel taps that back to that safety deck and he barely made it. But one thing about my dad is that a lot of people thought he was wild, but he did run numbers. And I know Brian Carson didn't run numbers because some of his numbers we'd ask him and they're like, no way, I'm 45 degrees. There ain't no way I'm 4 ramps, 45 degrees. But, you know, my dad was always like, when I did my backwards car jump, you know, world record, you know, I think we're at 15 or 17 degrees. My dad would know right now if I called him. So my dad's good with degrees. He knew the numbers. And, but, you know, like you said, they are machines. Things react different. And, you know, it don't always come out the way you want it to. And my dad has had some bad accidents, you know, so
yeah,
he's lost some buddies, you know, doing this stuff, you know, so
right.
it's not all fun and games like you see on YouTube and TV and stuff. So it is serious business, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot goes into preparation in order to, you know, walk away from something that can go wrong really badly. I mean, I remember, I think it was your dad. I'm not sure. He did a jump. I think it was for That's Incredible. Into a pyramid of cars, and it was a van sitting on
Yep.
7 blocks. Was that your dad?
Yeah.
And he was a little higher than he wanted to be, and sheared the cage right off. The roll cage came right off out of the mounts in the front, the A-pillars, and he was able to just lean back, and I could have decapitated him, but he was so lucky. It was unbelievable.
You know what's crazy about that story is he was on that at Manzanita. That's crazy. That's kind of where I hurt my leg at. That's like 30 years later. I went back there and did a stunt. But so yeah, the pyramid had the van there, and what happened was overnight it settled, you know. So the pyramid settled on him.
Okay.
So he didn't want to like slow down. The ramp was set. So what he actually did was loosen up his belts. And right when he got to that ramp, he kind of almost knew it was going to happen, and he just went to the side and just yeah, it did. It literally just peeled the top off and like. You know, it's crazy. My dad's he's a hardcore stunt guy. Like probably 15 years ago when he was in his 60s, he took a stock like car underneath an 18-wheeler for the police department here. They rigged it all up with stuff. He didn't cut it. He didn't do nothing. He just ran up this 18-wheeler. I was like, oh my God. He just lays down in the seat, hits the floorboard. Like he scared the crap out of me. I'm like, this is my like 6-year-old dad. And but no, even at 60, he knew what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's on top of this game. He was smart. He just wasn't a wildcat. Even though you got to be a little bit wild in this game, you know. I mean, he has, you know, hasn't always been right, but so you know, it exactly. I know exactly the stunt you're talking about. You know, the car settled on him. The van settled. He always likes to put vans out there so we can center punch that thing. And he set one up for me in Texas Motor Speedway. That worked out beautiful. They put it all up, white cars. The van was red. It was for a NASCAR race, and boom, you can Google it and see it. And I just stuck that van, pushed it out, and man, I've been hurt worse jumping into a swim. It was it was a smooth ride, you know. So that one worked out perfect, you know. So,
yeah, I think I saw that. Did you end up upside down, right?
Yeah, it ended up upside down, popped on the other cars, and slid under the asphalt. But at that point, absorbed all the energy, so that was good. But like you're talking about that pipe ramp stuff, that's when it gets crazy because the car is sideways, your body's this way, and
yeah,
you know, I don't know how to hit a pipe. Every time I hit it, it's different, you know. So it never don't react right on the pipe. You know, you get a car in a pipe, you never know where you're going to be.
Dude, pipe ramps, like you say, they're always different because, you know, even if you're off 2 inches, the car's going to react different, you know. And again, like you're going to have different vehicles. I mean, most of the time you have a cop car, you know, especially in the 90s to 2000s, it's a Crown Vic, right? So they actually really well balanced cars, as you know, and so they do kind of behave and react similar. But again, like it all depends on how you hit that pipe ramp and what the weight distribution is and on the speed and so on. And I mean, I've seen buddies hitting way too centered and go up in the air and have really slow turning speeds and then come down. And it's just nasty, you know, when you go.
Yeah, I get on them doors.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw a good buddy of mine on the show that I was coordinating. Actually, we had like 5 turnovers, 2 cannons and 3 pipe ramps, and I did 1 pipe ramp myself, and Troy Gilbert did 1, and then my good friend Chris Nielsen, he got too fat on it, and he went up in the air, and Bryan, he went 140 feet before he hit the ground the first time, and he came down right on the B pillar and right here by his head, and he was higher than the light posts on the street. He was up there 25 feet easily, and he came down, and I had 2 B bars put in,
Yeah.
and the cage came in about 8 inches, and the pad that we had put on the cage hit his helmet, pushed him back, and it was gnarly. It was crazy. It was one of the.
That's Troy Gilbert, man. He hit some hard pipes.
That's
great. He does some good stuff, man. No, I just seen his stuff on the internet, and he's a hard hitter out there, man. Jeez.
Troy is one of my best friends, but he's also, in my book, one of the top 10 stuntman.
Oh yeah, probably in the 5. Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing that guy can't do. Horses, motorcycle, fire, and he is in his 50s now, but he would still do a 100+ high fall right now. He is physically and mentally amazing. He's just,
we can have a little high fall party like they used to in Hollywood. Let's go do it. We'll get the bags out there. But and what's crazy is the pipe roll story is my very first pipe roll was in Reliance Stadium for a Monster Jam show. We put 2 18-wheelers up. My dad goes, I went passenger side up. My dad went driver's side up. So I'm always worried about that pipe coming through. And my first one, I'm like, the pipe's going to rip through hit my feet. He's like, no, it won't. He's like, I'll go pipe side up. But so, we walk out there. People are starting to come into the stadium. It's like, it packs a house. There's like 65,000 people. It was my first pipe roll. I never hit a pipe in my life. And the ramps are 10 feet in the air. Then our pipes are on. I mean, they're like 13, 14 feet in the air. And I'm like, oh. We come out, and he's in a, it was kind of off, but I had a V8, he had a V6, so we tied him out in the parking lot. We hit these ramps perfect. I got the best picture. We're both upside down. Beautiful. Fire going off. Like, it's this father and son, man. I love it, and that's sometimes like that. It's like, who gets to do that with their dad? You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had some awesome times, and I'm glad I got to do that with them. So that was my first pipe roll, and I'll never forget it,
So you guys hit a jump ramp first and then the pipes?
Yeah, we went up the ramp because we try to get up in the air a little bit for the dome shows. Try to get up in the air a little bit just to pop them, and because you get those monster trucks, and then they bring out these other cars that do like their little rolls out there anyways. They're having a rolling competition with like cars there. So like, oh man, we got to step it. So we actually put 18-wheeler ramps up. We put flatbeds up. So when you hit a flatbed with a car, it don't transition good. You kind of bounce on it, and but it still hits the pipe, and we still got off it. And so yeah, we went up the ramps, kind of bucked a little bit, got on the pipes, and just went for it. And we have a shot of us both upside down, perfect, wheels to the sky, fire everywhere. It was beautiful. Like in the stadium, people were. It was a great shot.
Holy cow, that sounds amazing.
Oh, it was. And
you guys went into crash cars, of course.
Oh heck yeah, definitely land on crash cars, and that's what's funny is the picture's perfect, but after the picture, my dad came in a little heavy because he was right behind me. So I almost landed perfect on my cars. My dad barely clips the cars and comes rolling off and ends up in the dirt hill. But yeah, that was in 2009. So that was like 11 years ago. So you figure that out. My dad was 63 or 62 then. So he was still doing some heavy stunts, in his older age. I mean, that's something crazy. I don't want to be doing then.
No, you know who Charlie Pacerni is?
Name sounds familiar.
So this guy, another badass, right? It's been around for decades, and I won't reveal how old he is now, but I know that he did a pipe ramp in his early 70s.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah, and I just golfed with him a couple of weeks ago, and he told me the story. It's like, yeah, it's no freaking big deal, just get in and put the seatbelts on. Everybody makes a big deal about those fucking pipe ramps. So just hit those things. And
oh, boy. Yeah.
It's a different breed, those old school guys are a completely different breed.
Oh heck yeah, they are.
I love sitting down with them and hear all their crazy stories. It's awesome. I love it.
I was talking to my dad this morning on the way here, and he's my dad's got some stories. So yeah, next time we get together, we'll get him in here, and who knows what, he's got all kinds of good stuff for you.
I love it. That's great. You were mentioning your reverse jump. and I saw that, and it's crazy. And you got wickedly lucky with not hitting that building.
Heck
But-
yeah.
Whew. What kind of, was that a private residence or what was it?
No, it was actually like City Hall or something. It was a nice building. It's all red brick. And so this is the quick story about that. So I get a call. We're literally like 2 weeks before Evil Knievel Days was happening, and we weren't even planning on going that year. And they call, they said, we want to bring guys up here. We want to do a backwards car jump. And you're like, and I brought it to my dad, and my dad didn't see Rob Dyrdek's stunt. He didn't really get the thing. And he goes, I don't really get this. And I said, yeah, I'm just going to jump a car backwards. And I just want to be, we got to go like 100 feet or something. And he goes, okay. He's like, oh, we can do it. But so we found a car on Craigslist. We had 2 weeks. I found a cop car. I figured this will probably have some speed. So I went down south, hit through the keys, went around the corner. We popped in reverse, just wrapped this thing out. It was like 65 miles an hour. I mean, it was popping at lifters, but we're like, it'll get there. So we went back, bought the car. We left the tank in it because we don't want to mess with all that. We put a new seat in it, a roll cage, and the seat belts, and took a stock cop car up there pretty much. And it was the same weekend they jumped that semi truck that Greg Godfrey jumped that semi truck for a record. So I pretty much went off the same dirt setup, but the next day. And yeah, it worked out good. What happened though is stock suspension. So when I went off the ramp, everything was good. It came a little bit heavy to the rear, so it didn't hit the tires real bad. It hit a lot of the trunk, and it smacked to the front real bad. And went back to the rear, the tire just shoved in that fender well, and it was just like a turning brake. So I couldn't even stop it. Hit the barrier and slid down the barrier. But man, if that thing would have broke, I would have totally had to turn down that dirt hill.
Yeah.
What's sketchy is I drove that car like 3 times backwards. Didn't have time to do a speed run really because it's on Park Street and there's houses and and they line up this chain link fences. The next thing I know, people are lined up all the way down the road, just chain link fence and people. And I got like 2 lanes on each side in the center lane. So
I'm going to back up. I'm going to try to go for it. Let's get this over with. Let's hurry this up. I'm ready, bro. You ready? I'm going to jump this thing. No speed runs.
Okay. He's gone. No speed run. Man, show him what you're made of.
All right, here he comes. He's on the approach. Backwards Bryan. He's on his way to make history with a world record attempt, and he is cooking. He's up. A beautiful man. He's there. He can run here. Yeah, he give him a hand. And he is a world record holder. He's done it.
Wow. Almost taking out the building.
Bryan Spanky Jr.
We're working with like 40 feet, but
yeah,
I'm like, man, I just want to go one time. I just want to hit this ramp, and because you always worry about the front end and looping out, and there's people to the side. So it was a packed house. So this is cool.
How much
Kind
speed?
of good.
How fast did you go?
I was somewhere right above 60. I would say 62, 63, somewhere in that range.
It's amazing. It goes that fast in reverse.
Oh man, it was about to like the move. Yeah, it was amazing. It went like 126 feet, I believe is where it landed.
Okay.
It was dirt to dirt, dirt to dirt. We never dealt with dirt like that.
Yeah.
But that was the stuff we had to work with. So
how far did Rob Dyrdek go?
I think it was like 89.
Okay.
89 feet.
You know that Cody Gilbert, Troy's son, tested that first.
Oh yeah, he probably had it all set up for him, right? And didn't say exactly. They probably said. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I just know how it kind of worked. If he probably did all the stunts for him, and then Rob jumped in. And all to Rob though. I mean, he did the stunt. He strapped in and did it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but Gilbert, he laid it down for him. He's a real hero out there.
Yeah, it was great. What was
what's cool is that spiral they did and landed it with Rob. They were the first one to do that since that Astro spiral from the James Bond movie.
Yeah, but you know what? Because I love that James Bond stunt. Love it, right? It was perfect.
Oh yeah, it was flat in the air.
It was flat in the air, and it was super smooth in takeoff and landing. And I think they used the perfect car for it as well. And Dyrdek's was okay, but it wasn't as smooth. And I don't think they used the right car for it either. It was too small. It needed to be a little longer, I believe, a little more balanced. So there's more work to do, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I also heard that, oh man, who was the stuntman that did it in the James Bond movie? Do you know?
No, I don't.
I heard that they had a caster wheel underneath, so the suspension wouldn't compress too much on the takeoff ramp. So the caster wheel would just kind of keep it more stable, which is a great idea.
Heck yeah, that was a trick. He kept that under his sleeve forever. He wouldn't tell anybody anything. Like no degrees, nothing. Like
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I wonder
that was
how
a long time ago too. That's pretty cool. He pulled that off too.
Yeah, exactly. And I wonder how they tested it back then. It's probably just, we'll see what happens. Nowadays we would jump into cardboard boxes over and over.
Yeah.
Get it down right. What was one of the most challenging stunts you got to do?
It's probably probably that high fall. I did a high fall in California, and the reason is because I was on a Hollywood tour. You always hear about the Hollywood scene. I always admired the Hollywood stunt guys, man. I wish I would have went that route and kind of joined the team and stuff. But I've always been a Phoenix guy and had a construction thing going on here. But so probably when I went to California and I did that stunt to tell the truth, and it was a high fall. Betty White was there. Jalen Rose. There's some cool people there, and I did a high fall on fire. And what stinks was the way we all set up was to do the high fall from like where I would fall east, and then the wind started coming because obviously the ocean. But when we set it all up, it was fine. The wind wasn't blowing that bad. So when I started lighting the fire, I was playing with it. Next thing you know, I'm eating smoke, and I remember telling Lasher, I just got to go. And so it's probably you just got a crowd there. It was dark, and it's for television, and it wasn't the hardest one, but I just remember I had the jitterbugs, and it was pretty cool. I liked it.
What what do you think made you a little nervous on that one?
I don't know. Betty White, she's famous, she's cool, you always want to impress her, and she was really funny and witty too, man. What an awesome woman she was. And just for a good TV show, and you want to make it look good, There's also Pee-wee, he's a stunt guy out of Hollywood. He was there helping us set up. And
cool. Yeah, I know Pee-wee very well.
Yeah, so he was helping us set up. And then Alec.
And Niels, yeah.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was a stunt coordinator there. So, when those guys roll in, you just really want to impress all those guys and do a good job. And it was cool because some of the riggers were scared to even go up because they had like a dummy they're doing something with. And when you get up 125 feet, I mean, I don't care who you are, you're up 125 feet, but I got it now, when I get up there, especially that airbag down there, and I'll lock it in, and I feel like I could do 140, 150 right now all day long, so yeah, with the right pay, we'll get up a little bit higher, so.
And that being said, there's not a lot of Hollywood, let's just call them Hollywood stuntman or stunt performers, so the ladies are okay with that go past 50, 60 feet, in the free fall airbags or boxes. Nowadays, 80% of it is on high speed winches and other cable riggings.
Yeah.
Or,
do they still use the descender reel? Is that what they're using?
Yeah. So you may think of the mechanical cylinder, like a cone shape system.
Okay.
Yeah. That's still
the Dar Robinson system, pretty much, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He invented that. Well, he reinvented it. The Germans actually had it for paratrooper testing in the 1920s. And then he took that technology back and reinvented it. And then many other grade riggers and stunt coordinators and so on, technicians worked on it. But nowadays, they have computerized winches that are incredible. I mean, you can tell them to do anything, and you have Spider-Man flying up a building at super high speeds, and you can also decel them with it as well. But that being said, it's something more that can go wrong, with technology and computers, and it has in the past. There has been accidents because of mechanical or computer failure in certain circumstances, where with mechanical cylinders or descenders, you just see all the moving parts and components, and I kind of like that better sometimes, keep it simple.
Yep, keep it simple.
Yeah,
definitely.
Now, how long you've been married to your wife? You have a beautiful family, and you have great, you have 4 great kids. And what do they think about all this?
They like it. They enjoyed the ride. We've been married for 12 years. 2 of our kids still in school. They go to Northwest Christian. We got them into some good schooling. And, right now with this crazy world, you just try to keep them focused and just do the best you can. And we go camping right now but we've always been about family. One thing I've always done is worked hard. My family's never went without. That's why I didn't really follow the stunt thing to Hollywood as much as I wanted to, because I just didn't want my family to, I didn't really know how that would work, so.
Yeah.
The trucking thing, I started doing a little trucking thing when I was young, and now it's really thriving and done good for us. But no, they like it. They love it, when we're out doing the stunts and stuff, they don't, they get scared and things can go wrong. They've seen some bad things. Like my dad took a nasty crash into a dirt hill and they saw that. But we try to keep them away from the big heavy stunts and just try to raise them right,
What do you mean you're trying to stay away from the big and heavy stunts? You're doing big and heavy stunts.
Well, no, we are, but try to keep them from watching them. If we're gonna go do like a big stunt where we think something could go bad, maybe they'll just
I see.
Go on a river rafting trip that day, or just go, just they don't need to see it. So
yeah,
keep them away,
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. So, I had this conversation yesterday with Callie Croughwell. I had her on here. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's the daughter of Charlie Croughwell, a huge second-unit director, stunt coordinator. And Callie is 25 years old and just a hardworking, really talented stunt girl. And we were talking about certain stunts that, like, one of them she had to do is you have to hit a pretty big boulder with a 70-something car straight on going.
Jeez.
And yeah, that thing has no crump zone and it's a hard hit, right? Oh yeah, and a few weeks or maybe a month before, she broke her collarbone, so she had to put an extra pad on the seatbelt. She's just a gnarly girl, right? And really talented, up and coming. And the question came up, what makes us do this kind of stuff? What do you think is the reason that we are willing and even excited about flipping cars and crashing this and that? And what do you think is it all about?
Just like I love it. I can't explain it. Americans say the rush and all that, but like when I jumped that car in Texas and you center punch that band and you do exactly what the math does, and that band pushes out and it's smooth, and you get out and the crowd's going nuts, and you just put your hands in the air and you're just like, this is fun, this is cool, like this is why I do it right here. But and then you do make a little bit of money doing it down the way, and you take your family with you, like I said, and half of our great vacations are so it's great for the family. It's been a great life. It's better than, like I always said, if I sit at home doing the same thing, live my life doing the same thing, like we're not living life. So
yeah,
we're living life all over doing it, so.
And it's the right thing for us. This is not for everybody. You know what I mean? It's just something in us. I don't think there's a real good explanation that for a certain reason we enjoy this. Because I was approached by others to say, why don't you start getting into acting? And I says, well, because that's not where my heart's at. Right? Since I'm 7 years old, I want to be a stuntman, and in the recent past, I did have to do got to do a little bit of acting that was included in the role that had a stunt, and I'm getting more comfortable with it, but it's not really passion. I think it's amazing that some people love doing that part, and we can come in and do the stunts or so on, but like you just got to find your passion, and that's that is what we do here.
It's not like I ever got into a car or did a stunt and thinking I was going to get hurt. Every time I really did it, I had like a lot of confidence. I felt like even driving that car backwards, I've never done that. And the promoter guy, he had a Corvette, and he can call my dad. It's Bill Rundle. And he goes, I don't know how he's going to do it. It's like, I get like 25 miles an hour in my car and I want to loop out. And you know, so it's just I just felt it. I was like, I can do this, you know, like we had a white line. It's just something we do, you know. It's not like I said, I don't do it because I feel like I'm gonna get hurt. If I did, I wouldn't do it. I do it because it's a passion. I like it, and yeah, it's definitely not for everybody.
Right, but that being said, we do have confidence. Obviously, otherwise we wouldn't sit behind a wheel. But you never have a little bit of healthy fear.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got that fear.
Yeah, you definitely have that. You know, there is an opportunity. There's a chance this could go bad. And how do you deal with that? How do you move that out of the way?
Oh, it's definitely tough. There's only one time I've actually had a real weird feeling. I left a hotel room and I was like, and I don't know why it came across me, but I was like, man, you know, like it just like, you know, it's weird. I don't know why it came across me to kick that feeling. And I did, and I went out there and it was crushed. It was a really cool stunt, a bunch of dominoes and just flipped these cars over. But the car I was jumping was junk. And I don't know why I got freaked out about it, but yeah, I definitely get mixed emotions sometimes, but you got to have those, I guess, you know, but because I know people that have done some stunts and they didn't have quite the confidence. And if you don't have it, if you're kind of too scared, or you're not feeling it, and you're just doing it for the wrong reasons, I guess you're probably gonna hurt. I mean,
yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I've never in my entire career done a gag for money. That was never the ambition. That was never the drive. You know, I'm going to make a lot of money. That's I'm going to do it. Because as you yourself probably as well, I've done hundreds of stunts for free, you know, just to learn how not to do it in my early days. And then if a friend of mine wanted to produce, I remember Terry James years and years ago, he wanted to produce his horror movie and he had a lot of crazy stunts in it. And I was like 25, 26 years old and totally gung-ho to help him, of course. He's a good friend, but also to get to do cool stunts like big fire burn, dig a full fire burn, flames 12, 14 feet, get hit by 77 suburban on the same time at night for $100. You know what I mean? It's about the money.
No, definitely. If you do anything for money, I guess you'll never be happy. You know, that's what a guy once told me, which is true. You know, so yeah, we do it because we like it, and I've definitely done my share of free stunts. So we're even doing that show night like 7 years ago, and for American Daredevils for the History Channel, and they wanted one more stunt for the last episode. So the dirt track in Texas, we're doing a little race there, and they said we can do a pipe roll there. So I actually did a pipe roll there. It's the only dirt track at the time in America with a tunnel. It's pretty cool. It came through a tunnel. It was an early stunt, man. From where I was setting, I couldn't even see the pipe. I couldn't see nothing. When I came out of this tunnel, I had like 100 feet just to kind of, it was dark. Another speed run I couldn't do, but so yeah, I mean, it was an awesome stunt. You know, it came out great, and I did it for pretty much no money. Then we got 15 grand, but we had to pay the car, you know, and everything, and we did it just to try to get it on the show and make it better. So
very cool. Do you still tour? I mean, you still go and perform?
No, you know, I'm working on some things with Transition Productions, and I want to do a couple big stunts. Like they're going around right now, you know, like Travis Pastrana had a couple things going on with that Evil Live. I went out to watch Axel Hodges jump that dirt bike for a record 400 feet, but he got hurt, so they postponed it. But our next gig, this is the next one we're on. It's going to be my dad's always wanted to do it, and he's got told to do it. So we're going to take a car, we're going to take it down to 90-meter ski jump and take it off that and float it all the way down, be about 300-something feet. We want to land it and drive it off, like Madison did on the dirt bike, you know, Robbie Madison.
Yeah.
So that's the next thing we want to do. We're trying to sell that right now.
An actual ski jump.
Yeah, go down, 90-meter ski jump in a car. You know, if you think about it in your head, you're like, this is gnarly. But if you figure it out, I mean, the car floats above the ground, you know, we can make this work. Like, we really can. So Robbie Madison actually called my dad about that stunt. My dad's helped Robbie Madison out a lot with numbers and calculations. And so, yeah, we got it figured out. We just need to sell it.
Right. Yeah. Because as you know, cars don't fly, right? Eventually they're going to either catch air and they're going to start messing everything up. So you have to keep the right speed, have the right car for it. That's crazy, dude. That's gonna be
It could be.
that's gonna be a lot of airtime.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. It'll be good, and they definitely catch air. You know, like I've seen my dad hit a ramp at 106 miles an hour in Topeka, Kansas, 1997. It's on YouTube,
Holy
and it caught air. It just caught too much air. Plus, he sandbagged the trunk too much. Well, his crew chief did. He told him how much to put in it, and the guy put a little bit too much. And when it got on that, it just he pretty much flew all the way like that. So he caught and just. But that wasn't bad. She went to crash cars, you know, so he just crashed out and it was fine. But yeah, definitely want to do that going down that hill.
Yeah.
Gotta be right on.
What ski ramp do you have in mind?
We haven't really, back then my dad always talked about like back in New York, Lake Placid or whatever, but now there's so many different ones. We go up to Park City or, you know, that'd be the hard thing, but I think I didn't get it sold up in Park City, or I know the Godfreys are up there and they're radical. Yeah, they're a radical family, you know, and if I get the right people behind it, which I almost did, and then this COVID thing came around, slowed up some process of it. But we're aiming to get some things on TV.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah,
you know, just like a nice 1 hour special or something, or you know, they're doing it right now with Nick Belinda. He's walking the tightrope. You know, Travis Pastrana. Stunts are coming back on TV. That's what my dad did. You know, in the '90s, ABC, and he did the triple spiral. He did a ramp at New Orleans. This for ABC. It's 1 hour special. They did a couple smaller stunts, and my dad came out at like 90 miles an hour and was supposed to go passenger side up and do 3 spirals, but on the ramp he just got too far to the side. He ended up going passenger side up and went 3 spirals and landed right on asphalt. But yeah, got out and so yeah, we got to bring back the 1 hour stunt specials. That'd be awesome.
You know, and I think you're right. I think there is a market. People just don't get tired of watching stunts, you know what I mean? All kind of action. I mean, it's just what people enjoy watching. That's why the arenas are always full. So I definitely think there's a market there for it, and there's plenty of platforms nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
So is that the next big one you want to do, or do you have something else in mind?
That's pretty much the one we're working on. I mean, we always wanted to take a car real far, like the trophy truck thing, go for that record, but because now the game's changed a little bit. We gotta step it up and start driving things off a little bit. And we can crash them like the old school way, but really put our footprint back out there. You know, we need to do something like that. You know.
Yeah.
So we're looking to go stick something and drive it off.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and you know, I'm going to keep you in mind for when I coordinate shows. Now that I know you, it'd be cool to have you on the team.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Love to help out. We have some pipe ramps. We have 2 really good pipe ramps. Got a really cool mobile takeoff ramp. Have it set up in 15 minutes. Like, we got some pretty good equipment. So.
You sure?
Yeah, we love it, man.
Did you grow up in Arizona?
Oh, born and raised here.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're cooking right now. It's like 110 out here, but we like it here. It's a good state. It's clean. You know, we travel around and figure out where we want to retire, but love Arizona. I mean, we love Atlanta too. That's where you're at, right, Atlanta?
Yeah. I was in LA for 20 years. You know, I moved from Switzerland to LA when I was 24 years old. Had 2 double backs, and you know, just a dream. And met the right people and got good opportunities. You know, you always need a hand helping you up. And Bob Yerkes was the first person that I knew in LA, and he's just like, you know, he's the godfather of stunts. So he helped hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people getting into the industry. Let me stay at his place, and yeah, this is a.
Didn't he have trapeze in his backyard? Was that the guy with trapeze and stuff in his backyard, trampolines and? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, because he used to own a circus. He started in the circus when he was 12 years old. Later on, had his own circus and traveled the world with it. And then,
how fun was that? That's cool.
And hard living, man. He told me they used to live in train wagons. They had no running water in the wintertime. They had to wash themselves out of a, you know, cold water bucket. And I mean, tough living for sure.
Yeah.
But talking about passion, right? Just
yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's still fun to talk to you because you can just feel all the passion pouring out of you, and that's what this show is about. It's just to inspire others and make, you know, it's not all about money. It's not all about accumulating things, and it's about following what you love to do, because life goes by too quickly. And I'm sure you have heard that as well. when you meet someone for the first time and they ask, what do you do, Bryan, for a living? And you tell them, well, I'm a stuntman, or, and I certainly know I've experienced that. And then you hear them say, well, I always wanted to do that too. And it really does break my heart, because then I'm thinking, it's like, well, why aren't you doing it? Right.
Yeah.
And there's so many different reasons why people aren't following their passion and their dream. Could be their upbringing, could be whatever, right? Whatever insecurities that they face, that they have a hard time overcoming. And that's what the reason was to create this podcast here. And dude, Bryan, I got some emails the other day from people saying thank you, that it get choked up now, that it make, they can relate to certain people and their issues, and that they always want to just do a certain thing, and they're going to take some more time to go that route, and to hear that is
That's awesome, man.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great, man. It's awesome. Giving them an outlet here.
Yeah, right. And you mentioned the COVID situation earlier. How do you guys deal with that?
Just tread lightly. We're just kind of, we're so busy with work. We're not trying to watch the news, just we're camping, we're going to the beach. We're just trying to kind of just do our thing, just stay away from it and stay healthy, and just do what they say. If they want us to wear a mask, we'll put our mask on. You know, so
about that, it's just
jeez.
Yeah, I think turning off the TV is definitely a great move.
Yeah. Like the other day, I went to build my kids a little ramp out back, and just get up about 3 hours doing that, and then just find projects to do. Yeah, you turn on the news, man. You think the world's coming to an end. You'll go buy ammo, and yeah, it's definitely a world time right now. We got to get it back to where it used to be.
Yeah. I hope it's not already been too far.
Yeah. How is you doing? Are you still doing stunts? Is the industry open right now out there? Are you working or?
Yeah, it's just starting to opening up now. The show I'm going to be working on is The Rookie, which shoots in LA. So apparently they're going to start shooting the end of August. So I'm going to try to find out what all the protocol is that we need to go through in order to go back to work. Those giant studios and shows, they all need insurance, and so it's kind of up to the insurance companies and their demand in order to continue shooting.
Yeah.
What was the worst job that you remember you ever had?
I've had some pretty crappy jobs. No, I haven't had many jobs actually. I've pretty much done the same thing my whole life. I started when I was 18 years old. I got my first truck. There's a $3,500 Chevy. And then 3 years later, I ended up buying a $4,500. So I kind of built my business when I was 18, a trucking business. But I mean, before that, I worked at Swinson's. I was a busboy at Swinson's, like an ice cream store here in Arizona. But that's when I was like 16 for like a year. But that's the worst job. As far as stunts, I've never had a bad job in stunts. If I'm not doing stunts, I love it. I mean,
yeah.
So I've stunt doubled one time for Carl Edwards. I went out there and I dressed up in his outfit, and that was really fun. That was pretty cool. I had to put a helmet on and do a big high fall for him. But anything in stunts, I'll do. It's not a bad day. But so the worst job would be busboy at an old ice cream store. That's the answer for that one.
What made you get into the trucking business?
It was just at the time my mom actually worked at a yard that had like a little trucking thing going on. So I thought I'll get a little truck and take this guy's loads out. And it was just a small Chevy. Then I bought a Ford F450. Then I bought like a single axle dump truck that hold 10 tons. And I built up. Now I got like 3 trucks. Like the truck I just bought was $200,000. It was a nice Kenworth 16-wheeler, beautiful truck. Like it's
amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I got a guy driving it, and I got 3 drivers, so it works out great for me. I can finally like take a vacation, but it didn't come easy. Like I grinded, man. There's times where I didn't go on vacation for a year, and I really built it and worked 6 days a week, get up at 12:30, drove one truck, got in the other truck, drove the other truck. And finally, when I hit my 40s, it really started working out for me. Like,
good for you, man. You definitely deserve it. I mean, and again, working like that with that heat, on
Oh
top,
yeah.
you know. And I don't know what you're hauling. What kind of loads are you taking?
Just like gravel, and we work for some kind of like some high-end landscapers out here. We got on the good end of it. So there's a couple of big landscapers out here. And the other day I was delivering on a street. Zach Greinke lived next door. The pitcher, you remember the Dodgers? Now he played for the Diamondbacks. But a really cool pitcher. But I'm just saying that's the kind of homes we're working at, like really nice, high dollar. Larry Fitzgerald. And so we deliver landscape rock pretty much to the high-end landscapers. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I'm always inside really cool properties, like just amazing what people have out there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I heard Alice Cooper lives out there too, right?
Oh yeah, we've actually been to Alice Cooper's house.
No way.
I told somebody one time as a joke, I said, I should start a little company as like a van and do star tours out here, just because I just know everybody lives. So I delivered them their houses and stuff. But yeah, Alice Cooper, he just redid his house. He's right off of Lincoln. Yeah, he's a rocker. He's kind of the Valley Rock. Everybody uses him on commercials here, and he's like the local go-to here.
Dude, he seems like such a cool dude. My daughter and I love his music, and we went to see him live twice in LA, and always has a great show. And even I think he was like 71 at one time at one show we went to, and he still is running around and back and forth on stage. But
yeah, he had a restaurant here right by the stadium called Cooperstown, and he popped in there once in a while. And it just shut down recently, but that lasted for probably 20 years.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I heard he's a good Christian man. He's a good guy.
Yep, definitely.
What is your belief system?
Oh, I believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian. we go to Palmcroft, and I don't go as much as I should go right now, especially with it shut down. You got to do online, and
yeah.
But we're Christians. We believe in God. And what about you?
Same. Same. Trying to be better every day, and praying to be the best dad I can. That's just and trying to do the right thing and inspire others and help at least one person a day, right? So
how many kids you got?
I just have one daughter.
How old are you now?
I'll be 45 in September.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my kids are getting a little bit older, but in the beginning, like even my son now, it's 11. Like we're playing catch like 3-4 days a week, always on it. But like in the last year, time getting busy and work, and I even told my wife the other day, I said I got to get back out there and you can get caught up with what you're doing and lose track of what's important sometimes, So
yeah, and especially in the crazy times we're in right now, it's even more so important,
Yeah, definitely. The last few months have actually been a lot better. I've been chill, and we've been on more vacation. I'm just taking it easy, I'm not letting it get to me. We're just camping, and because man, you can get caught up in this, and it could get you really, stressed out, and and I'm blessed where we're at too, so we can do that, So
yeah,
it sucks for families that are really struggling out there,
Absolutely, and like again, I mean, I assume you're living in a house and you have a little yard and backyard.
Oh yeah, we're good, yeah.
So I just feel so bad for people that are stuck in apartment complexes.
Oh yeah.
And I got a few friends in New York, and I feel for them, man. And I just wish, they would just pack up and go somewhere else where it's a little more chill,
From Arizona and buy landscape rock. That's what everybody's doing. It's getting busy out here, but no, I agree with you, man. All jokes aside, it is crappy, and I couldn't do it. We have a park across the street, and so yeah, I couldn't be in an apartment all cramped up. I couldn't do that. It's hard for me to sit down and watch an hour or two of television. Like I like to build things and go in the garage and do things. So
yeah, right. Well, dude, it's been really awesome. I definitely want to do it again next time, maybe with your dad.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's set that up. And yeah, he'd love to do it. He's retired now, so he's just looking for this kind of stuff. You probably know what a podcast is, but he's old school. He's never even opened an email, but
unreal.
It is. But like you said, he's one of them old school guys, There's not a few of them around. But yeah, no, definitely. I'm glad you had me on. And if you ever need anything, I'm here. And if you ever come to town, let's hang out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I made a new friend here.
Cool. I love it, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Make sure you send me a lot of pictures and videos, and I'll put this together in a fun way.
Yeah, no, we'll do pictures, no problem. We're working on the videos. I'm not I have my son help me, but he's not here right now with the Dropbox or the whatever. So yeah, definitely. Let's link up and we'll get you those soon.
Sounds great. Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Bye-bye.